Hey guys, what's up? How are you? I am Rachel, proud creator and founder of Siopa Seize Your Passion. And I do these live streams from our Facebook group every Friday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you guys my thoughts for the week, my lessons for the week, my growth for the week, some ideas, some principles to help you and inspire you and hopefully empower you to go out there and seize your passion, i.e. do more of what you love and be more of who you love. And that's the only way I know how to go out there and realize all your dreams and become your best self. And that's the only thing I know to be true for every one of us on a universal level, right? What are we all seeking in our life, as different as it may be in shape or form or context? At the end of the day, we are all looking to realize our dreams and become our best self. That's why we're all here. I truly believe that. Okay, so this week, what I want to talk to you guys about is the 3 P's to realize your dreams, okay? So I had a conversation recently with some friends. We were talking about what it really takes, to really achieve that success. And again, you define your own success and what that looks like. So let's just call it what it really takes to achieve your dreams and realize your goals and become your best self, right? And a couple of things came up. And at the end of the day, it came down to what I'm calling the 3 P's, okay? So in order to truly realize your dreams and become your best self, first of all, the foundation of everything is passion. You've got to have the passion in order to seize your passion, in order to do more of what you love, in order to be more of who you love, in order to realize your dreams and become your best self. You've got to have that passion. You've got to be passionate about it. And what that could look like is it could vary for each and every one of us, again, depending on your own individual journey and on the context of what those dreams and those goals look like for you. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to, having that passion, is that you love it so much that even when you don't like certain things about it, you still love it. You believe in it so much that even when you get knocked down over and over again, you get up and you keep going because you believe in it so much. You care about it so much. It's something that's so important and meaningful to you that, again, no matter how many times you're rejected, no matter how many times you feel discouraged, no matter how hard some of the process is, you keep going after it and you keep doing it because it's coming from that passion inside of you, the passion that you have for it. Again, it's that. And it looks a little bit different sometimes. Sometimes we understand that passion to be just, we love doing it so much, right? It makes us feel alive. Whatever our passion pursuits are, whatever our goals are, whatever our dreams are. Why do we want to do it? Because we just love what it brings out at us, in us. We love how it makes us feel. We feel like this is the reason we were put on this earth, right? But sometimes it's about passion in the sense of it's so meaningful for us, right? We care so much about it. It's something that matters so much to our identity, to our soul, to our reason, again, for being here. So that passion can look a little bit differently, but you've got to have that passion in order to get to the next 2 P's, right? And I love how the 3 P's, the passion, and then the next 2, one feeds into the other and one leads towards the other, right? So if you have that passion, again, what does that lead to as far as no matter what, you keep going, and no matter how many times you get knocked down, you get back up and you don't give up? That's persistence. And that's the second ingredient for truly realizing your dreams and becoming your best self. It's having that persistence because you have that passion. One leads to the next, right? It's persevering and persisting despite all the hardships, despite how many times you do fall down and get rejected and feel discouraged and feel like this is never going to happen, or I can't make this happen. All those fears and doubts and hard times that we go through when we are realizing our dreams and becoming our best self. And it doesn't happen overnight. We know this. It's a journey and it takes time, which leads to the 3rd P. And maybe you could, guess what that 3rd P is going to be. But again, that persistence is so key. And you can't really have that persistence unless you have the passion first. Again, unless you care about it so much and you love it so much and it matters so much to your being and your identity and why you're here, that you will persist no matter what. what? Through the tough times, through the rejections, through the discouraging times, through the times that you do fall down, right? And that leads to the third P, again, because no matter how many times you do fall down, you get back up. And that's consistency. And that's time over time over time over time. And that's the third P, which is having patience. Right? You've got to have that patience. And you won't have that persistence unless you have that passion first. And you won't have that patience. Again, the persistence also leads to the patience. Because as many times as you fall back down, you get back up every single time because you have that persistence, because you have that passion. And guess what? The more you fall back down and the more you get back up over and over again, and you will, it's not like you get to a place where that's it. There's no more rejection. There's no more setbacks. There's no more obstacles. There's no more challenges. There's no more defeats, right? That obviously, as you continue to grow and become more and realize your dreams and become your best self, the challenges and the obstacles and the defeats and the setbacks will come. But the more you sort of get knocked down by them and endure them, because of your persistence, that's there because of your passion, the more you build your resilience, right? Because it's consistency and it's time and time again. And guess what happens after you build that and after you have that persistence and that passion and you start to build that resilience? You may fall down every time again, but guess what? You get back up so much quicker. It doesn't knock you down to the point where you feel like you can't get back up. It doesn't knock you down to the point where it takes so much time of healing and believing in yourself and in your dreams again that, the momentum is it's almost like you feel like you have to start over again. When you do get back up, you get right back up faster and quicker and easier every time because you've had that persistence, which comes from that passion, and you've built that resilience over time. And guess what? It takes time. And that's the patience piece, right? You can't build that resilience from that persistence that comes from that passion unless you learn to have patience. And again, I love how these three P's, one feeds into the other, because you naturally will learn to develop that patience. You will naturally come to see that time and time and time again, you may fall down and you may have setbacks, but you'll get back up. And again, you'll get back up quicker each time because of your resilience. And you'll see that when you zoom out, to the forest level and you're not stuck in the weeds of whatever setback you're in or whatever slow momentum when you're zooming in, it seems like you're having, when you allow yourself, because of that persistence and that resilience and that passion, to zoom out and have that 20/20 vision and that big forest overall view, you see that you have been making progress and you are making progress, and that takes time. It takes time, and this is the last piece of that patience, which is, and this is what triggered this whole idea for me of this conversation that I had recently with some friends, is that I've said this before, anything truly meaningful in life takes time. That's just a fact, and I started to think about, well, is it the fact that anything meaningful really takes time, or is it the fact that we put the time into it and therefore it becomes meaningful? And you know what? I think it's a little bit of both. And sometimes it's this one and sometimes it's that. And they're both kind of one and the same, and they both feed into each other. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you need that passion to lead to that persistence, to lead to that patience, because it does take time. And anything truly meaningful, creating, building, developing yourself as the best you, and your dreams and your goals and your passions, that takes time. It takes time because you need to build that persistence. You need to come at it from that place of passion. You need to build that resilience. You need to overcome those obstacles and challenges and get back up quicker and easier every time, and see the progress from that, forest view, rather than get stuck in the weeds and see that, wow, this all led here, and it couldn't have happened overnight. It just couldn't. There's no way you can make that kind of progress and meaningful creation of whatever dream you're building or whatever goals you have overnight. It just doesn't happen. I'll end with a quick story of someone I know. Just amazing story. A good friend of mine that really shows this piece of the last piece of the anything meaningful takes time, and having that patience. And I know it's easier said than done. It's hard to practice all this when you're in it. But if you remind yourself of it, you know, it really does help. And if you really, you know, start to think about it on a deep level, and when you're in those tough times, remind yourself of this. That's what these live streams are about, right? I'm not necessarily telling you anything you haven't heard before, but it's really a reminder, and it's really taking in these concepts and these principles that are universal truths and really thinking about them and applying them to what you're going through. It really helps. So I'll end with this inspirational story of a friend of mine that really highlights how beautiful this universal truth of everything meaningful really takes time. So she basically told me a story how someone literally walked into the place where she worked. This is about 4 weeks ago now. And literally the next 4 weeks from then, it was like the biggest whirlwind of basically like everything she's been dreaming about and working on and building and creating for the last 20 years of her life. It was like it was offered to her on a silver platter. Like, here you go. We have all the resources, and we want you to just go and run and have fun and create and basically build what you've been envisioning and dreaming and working on and developing and building for the last 20 years. Now, she's been doing that for the last 20 years because it's her passion, because she loves it. And she's, you know, she's not necessarily done it as her dream job, the way now the opportunity of her dream job to actually embody that is it seems like it's happening overnight, right? This person walked in, and literally 5 weeks later, boom, she's off. Like, that seems like it happened overnight. But the reality is, and she recognizes this, which is so beautiful and so amazing and so important, that she realized that everything, every step of the way in the last 20 years, everything she's been focusing on and building and creating and developing, and the growing pains and the setbacks and everything, is exactly what culminated in this piece of it, which isn't overnight. You know, when you zoom in, yeah, this little piece of it just happened all in 4 weeks, and you could isolate it like that and say, oh, she had that break, you know, that big break in 4 weeks time. It just happened. She got lucky. You zoom out and you see, and she did that, and she sees it for herself, which is amazing, I think. You zoom out and it's like, wow, it's like, it's literally the last 20 years. And this is just that next step of that 20 years. And I'm sure there'll be higher and better and more steps after this one. So that basically sums it up of what I wanted to talk to you guys about this week. Is really, I think, by and large, those 3 P's, passion as the foundation, of course, for everything, persistence and patience, by and large, if you learn to tap into those resources within you, hone them, develop them, and leverage them, you know, that's the secret sauce. That's the ingredient to how to realize your dreams and become your best self. It really comes down to that. You could like put everything in those 3 boxes. You really can. All right, guys, that's it. Have an amazing weekend. As always, do more of what you love and be more of who you love. Seize your passion always. Ciao, guys. Bye.